When did Adam Sandler actually give up? So Happy Gilmore 2 is a movie released in 2025 starring Adam Sandler, Julie Bowen, Christopher McDonald and Benny Safdie, and directed by Kyle Newacheck. So this movie is a direct sequel to Happy Gilmore, as you probably guessed by the title of the film. And realistically, probably about 24 years ago would have been the best time for a sequel to this movie to be released. And clearly at that time, Adam Sandler either had other projects he wanted to explore, or there just was no need for a sequel. And I would argue it was probably more likely to be the second one. But after a couple of years ago, where Christopher McDonald and Adam Sandler teased their characters of Shooter McGavin and Happy Gilmore having that rivalry continuing, fans started to demand or show that there was an interest in a sequel to show these two going up against each other once again. That's what ultimately sparked the idea of Happy Gilmore 2, and then what led to it being finally made and released on Netflix. Not in cinemas, straight to streaming. So, because of the fact this is on a streaming service, this review is going to be filled with some light spoilers throughout the duration, but nothing that's going to really sour your experience of this movie, no more than what the actual movie will itself. Since the original movie took place, Happy Gilmore and Virginia have gotten married, they've got kids, they've had 4 boys and 1 girl, and everything seems quite nice. Happy has flirted with the idea of retirement, but Virginia has told him not to, saying that no, golf needs you, you need to stay where you are. And everything has continued quite nicely. And this is going to be the main light spoiler, if you like, because this does take place at the very beginning of the movie in the sort of voiceover introduction that Happy Gilmore has to the audience. And that detail is that Virginia, unfortunately, is killed off very, very early on in the movie, within about probably 5 minutes or so. Happy Gilmore hits a tee shot, it goes astray, it hits her smack bang straight in the head and kills her, leaving Happy Gilmore on his own as a single dad raising 5 kids, refusing to touch a golf club again because of the incident that happened on the golf course, and then turning to drink. So ultimately what happens is the money runs out, he becomes an alcoholic. He's, having to try and support the kids. He loses everything. He loses the house that his grandmother or grandfather built, and he's been staying in ever since his grandma passed. And he has to move in with his daughter. His boys go off and move in on their own. And it's here where he sees that his daughter, does have a skill or does have a natural ability with ballet dancing. The ballet school that she's been sort of touted towards going towards does cost too much money that he can afford. So he decides to get back into golf and has to overcome the demons of his alcoholism and the demons from the past, and try and actually get back to where he was, because he was a championship golfer when he left it all. Alongside that, you also have a guy who is running a rival golf league, trying to bring golf and update it into the modern era, trying to make it more entertaining, shortening down how many holes there are, trying to quicken up how long it takes to take a shot as well as there being multiple different obstacles. You don't really get to see what that is until the very end of the movie, until the climax, where you do have traditional golf facing off against this new maxi golf league. And until that point, it was all very much a mystery as to what this is, but we just know that it's threatening the traditional values of standard golf. Throughout this movie, what we get is Happy Gilmore going back to earn money, a bit like he did in the original, and then we then have it progress on to facing off against this new competition, and a promise of whoever wins this competition, this face-off between traditional golf and a new one, whoever loses will cease to trade. And then just to add a little bit more into the mix, Shooter McGavin has been in an insane asylum since the events of the first movie, unable to get over the fact he lost a championship match to Happy Gilmore and was unable to get his gold jacket he's been chasing for so many years. He is released by the guy running the new league, trying to get Shooter McGavin into it after Happy Gilmore's refused to join. Shooter McGavin, once is also dead against this new side of golf. So takes the knowledge of the inside knowledge about how these golfers are, being trained back to the traditional side of it, and ends up actually joining the team with Happy Gilmore to try and take down this new league. Now, just to start off with, this movie is awful. This is an shockingly bad film. And when I say that Adam Sandler has clearly stopped trying, he really has. What we've got here is just a movie where all he's done is just use the Happy Gilmore name to get people's eyeballs onto him once again, to keep his deal with Netflix alive, and has essentially filled it with either flashbacks of the original movie so that people know what he's talking about when he makes references to the original movie, and has then also filled it with cameos with his friends. So this movie is nearly 2 hours long, and what you get from it, I mean, realistically, if you took out all of the flashbacks of the original movie, you would probably be left with an hour and a half, and that probably would be a lot better runtime for this sort of movie. But it's just all dragged out way too far. I mean, there's a running joke that we have with Happy Gilmore being an alcoholic, where he's always got something, a container to hold out or hide alcohol in. It starts off with a fake cucumber when he's stacking the shelves in his new job, to then a fake TV remote, a fake golf club, a fake golf ball. Honestly, it just keeps going and going to the point where you just get bored of the joke, but the joke then still keeps going as well. And for someone who's got such good comedic chops as what Adam Sandler had, it is just really frustrating to have to sit through. And there are some funny moments in this movie, like some of the cameos are quite funny. The fact that you got Eminem popping up randomly as the jackass guy from the first one turns up as his son, because unfortunately that actor is no longer around to reprise his role. And you do get some real, genuine golfers that actually appear in this movie as themselves, like Rory McIlroy as well. So all of those guys, all of that is quite funny. But unfortunately, that amounts to about 2 minutes of this movie where I can actually sit there and have a giggle. The rest of it is just it's just so bad. It really is. You've got Adam Sandler or Happy Gilmore's kids, his sons, trying to be little versions of basically just Adam Sandler, imitating his voice and his violent outbursts at every turn. You've got his relationship with his daughter is the only real good chemistry he has with one of his kids, where you do see there's actual genuine love there. And that's probably because that his daughter is played by his real life daughter. So yeah, there aren't really many props to sharing like actual chemistry to show that you love this person when they are actually part of your family in real life. But I think the worst thing about this movie is the fact that the interest from the public and the audience about having a sequel to this movie, something that no one really wanted, I would say, until a couple of years ago when they teased Shooter McGavin having another rivalry with Happy Gilmore, about that rivalry never really going away. That was what people wanted to see. That was the one thing drawing people back into the idea of, oh, actually, Happy Gilmore, yeah, that was a really good film. I wonder what happened. I'd love to see what happened in the years since. Like, I'd like to see where they're at now. But we don't get that. We don't get any rivalry between the two characters at all. And to me, that I think was the funniest thing about the original movie, was just how rattled Shooter McGavin was by this new up-and-coming golfer who threatened to just dismantle golf as he knew it. But this time it's just, what you've got now, instead of Happy Gilmore himself, you have this new version of golf trying to dismantle the traditions of golf as we know it. But Happy Gilmore decides that, no, I want to represent the traditional values of golf rather than do what I did in the first time and trying to almost break it. Nothing really works in this movie at all. Quite clearly, the way that this was created was the fact that Netflix approached Adam Sandler with a huge amount of cash, promised to little green light whatever script Adam Sandler put forward. Okay, there were some changes that had to be made because of some late departures like Carl Weathers, etc., which may have affected it, but I don't really think it affected the story that much, just because his character was substituted with someone else. And it's just a missed opportunity. Effectively, Adam Sandler wanted to cast his friends in yet another outing. Everyone said, yeah, go ahead, do it. And that's why we end up with this movie, which is just a steaming pile of garbage. So based on my views, I think you probably understand that I'd really hated this movie. And as a result, I'm giving it the lowest ranking that I can. And that is a 1-star review. So that was my review of Happy Gilmore 2, a movie that no one really wanted or needed when it comes down to it. But yeah, did you guys see it? What did you guys think about it? Whatever you thought, please pop it in the comment section below. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will catch you guys on the next one. But until then, you guys take it easy and I'll see you then.